But by the same token, I'm hoping that, you know, when these opportunities are presented, that people look at it and think, well, maybe that's something we can qualify for. If we have any way of contacting to get feedback on if anybody follows up on it, I think that would be helpful and interesting.
Well, I know some of the projects we went through thinking about this have already been funded, right? Some of the IRWM projects that we had on our list.
Yes, there's, I think, five or six of them have been funded or at least partially funded.
See, and I think we need to, because I know I tend to start thinking, okay, another meeting to meet.
You were in here yesterday.
Yeah, and I was
So was
over
Dan.
there, Tuesday, Wednesday, you know. But the thing is, I think we need to be able to talk about the successes that have come out of the year. Because otherwise, everybody kind of begins to feel like, you know, is this a waste of time? What are we doing here? Is there any real benefit, et cetera? So as I was saying with the top 50 things, I think it's really important that people understand that good does come of that and that their efforts have been fruitful and can continue. I think that would be helpful. Okay, now, item 7, request for regional water management group members. As I was telling Uma and Randy, my best thinking is the hour drive I have over here for meetings. So during that hour drive, I was thinking about this because I was kind of like, how did we set this up in the first place? And who set it up? And we did, but it was so many years ago. But what we set up was that each of us sits here, as Russell said, as a representative of an organization who has appointed that person to be their representative to the management group. So what we need to do, I think, is so far we've established that we have the authority to add a seat. So that's good. And what I think we'd like to do, and we can't take action on it today because it's not down here per se as an action item, but I think what we need to do is to, if everybody's agreeable, is to add a seat for a special district representative from the municipal service district. Because we do an awful lot of the projects and things we're looking at are drinking water, sewage management, the very services that these districts provide. And Frank had applied, but what got me thinking about it is his application came in from a CSD that's in my district. And I know Frank is very active with the Special Districts Association, so I'm also assuming that he may have been discussed at the special districts and that they appointed you. But technically, I think what we need to do as a management group is authorize the seat, first off, adding an additional member, if that's what we want to do. And then after that, we need to go out to all of the municipal service districts and ask them, maybe through the Special Districts Association, since I think most of them do belong. If they can send a letter saying, we would like to have a seat on the IRWM, and this is our authorized representative. And so that way it stays clean that it's organizations that are here, not specific to so on. So if that
works
makes sense.
great, because we have a meeting next week. Perfect timing.
So
I don't know if I want to be on the record on this, but that's very clear thinking for one of the supervisors.
Oh my God!
Yes,
See,
there's
our
that gavel.
pays off.
There's that
You
spoon.
just hand those to me like a cupcake. I can't resist it. I just can't resist it.
So can you vote today on adding a member like that?
Well, you know, I was looking at how it is down here, and I really don't think so because it was a request for inclusion as a member, but the paperwork that came with it, like I said, was specific to Frank, and it's filled out as if it were CPUD. So I guess that's what I'm saying is we need to take a step back and kind of go a more formal.
So next agenda, put it on there to add.
Right. To add the seat, and I think concurrently, since if everybody kind of has a consensus of adding the seat.
Yeah, we could do it both
Currently,
ways.
we can-
I mean, I think we could probably pass on adding a C, and then ask for, as you just said,
Right,
ask
right.
for the association to nominate a member, and we can vote on that member
Right.
the following meeting.
Yeah.
But we could also do that concurrently.
That's what I'm.
But it's it's whatever the board
Yeah.
thinks. As far
Does
I don't
anyone
care.
object at this point?
Not being an attorney and having lived now a number of years under the Brown Act, I think the better way to do it would be to do it concurrently, have it clear on the agenda, so we don't have any other special districts coming back and saying, we weren't properly noticed, blah, blah, blah. So,
Is that okay, Frank?
Yeah, that's fine.
so that's what we'll do is concurrently, we'll put on the next agenda adding the C, voting and adding the C. And at the same time, Frank will reach out to the special districts, since you are the one that does that, you're the special district, and determine if he or someone else ends up being their designated representative.
It'd be nice if Frank could put that in writing, you know, if we could just get something in writing from, say, we, the special districts
Right.
group, represent, you know, you know, we think Frank's a good guy, pick Frank, you know.
Frank's our representative.
Yeah, yeah, and then we would have it for the records, and then that way we can deal with it accordingly. We got a letter here for them recommending Frank, we got a seat, boom, bam.
Yeah.
I've had lots of people already offer to do that, but I didn't know what was appropriate, to be honest with you.
Well, the chair's got to tell you what's appropriate. I'm just here to cause trouble.
He's very good. Very good.
From my standpoint, I remember when Bill and I kind of reworked the management group, when we were putting together all the grant applications and everything. I do think having a municipal representative, as Sherry pointed out at lunch, that doesn't mean a hospital district, but we're looking at the water and sewer providers. I think that would be a good addition to the management group. And might add more traction to get more interest from the special districts to put forth projects and work on getting issues resolved that way. So I do think it's a great idea.
Good. Once in a while, something sort of lands.
It's that hour drive here, right?
Yeah, it's that hour drive, an hour back, man, the brain, it was crazy. Okay, so that's our cause of action, and that's what we'll do. Okay, we get now into number 8, support services for FY 19 and 20. Discussion of current future support services and funding sources. And A is receive a report on contributions.
So I did want to thank the counties of Phoenix and Sierra both for sending in contributions to cover the fiscal year 18-19 contract, which is a $25,000 contract, which has been quoted by Plymouth County. Last year, Butte County did contribute as well. So this is really an opportunity to discuss whether or not to continue the support staff contract next year, and needing direction, I guess, from folks. And I wanted to just give a brief update of where we are on expenses, and it's about $9,000 left in the budget for this fiscal year. Part of that was going to be spent on doing an overhaul of the website. Since Deer Creek Resources had it originally, they had a bunch of databases that we no longer have access to, so there's some broken links and stuff, and we were going to overhaul those and make sure that everything was current and updated. So that's kind of part of what we can do to finish out this fiscal year, as well as just keep up to date on what's going on with the Prop 1 and the Disadvantaged Community and Tribal Involvement Project. But we're coming to the end of the fiscal year, which is June 30th, and so it's an opportunity to discuss that need for next year and provide some direction.
Well, I'll start off with saying, I think that we wouldn't exist if it weren't for having you lead us through the maze and keep us straight on paperwork. And I assume that your proposal for your services would be similar to the same amount as last year.
Probably, yeah.
Well, I know Randy and I have discussed bringing before the Board of Supervisors your contract out of the budget sequence because of his leaving before we have a final budget. And we can't afford to not have your expertise and Leah's in the interim while we're trying to get somebody on board. So that's gonna be going, when do you have it scheduled to come?
I haven't yet, but I will try to get it, let's see, we're in early May. If I can get it on the last meeting in May, it will certainly be in early meeting in June. I haven't had a chance to update the contract, which is basically pretty easy for me. I should be able to get it to county council this week. Pretty much decided if he's too busy, I'll still keep moving it towards the board. It's not much, the contracts really aren't changing much from year to year. So I have a goal next week, trying to find the time to get that, go through those contracts and get it over to county council, get that process going so I can get it to the board before the end, before I leave. And it will be contracts for the next fiscal year, which is a little tricky to deal with in my budget book. So I am moving that forward.
And so what I guess would be, in the past, we had set the policy of, as I said earlier in the meeting, a percentage of contribution from Sierra County to Butte County. We don't have your supervisor here today. That would be part of their budget process. I'm assuming you can go follow up and explain to me that. You better be prepared to cough up money.
Paul's good at that.
He owes me right now.
You'll get it.
And you can probably communicate with Doug and let him know that you know, we appreciate seeing that continuing contribution. But now I have another little monkey to add to the mix in that we're sitting here talking about Westwood, and we have included Westwood in some of our IRWM projects and so on and so forth. But they make no contribution whatsoever. So I guess from a purely Scrooge point of view, I'm kind of sitting here going, why are we expending any manpower or funding for another county
So
that
Lassen
isn't
County, you're referring
contributing?
Westwood, Lassen County.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
where's Lassen County at the table, is that?
Where's Lassen County at the table, and, or even if they don't want to be at the table,
Where's their money?
where's their money? Where's their money? You got it.
Well, you got the Westwood District Supervisor right here, so.
Good. So can you start answering that question and lobbying it? Because I absolutely agree that, you know, the whole system is part of the watershed that we're looking at. And water doesn't know it just flowed across the county line. But by the same thing, as you hear us talking about, I know that all three counties, and in particular Butte, is really gonna be tight this year. So I think if we could get even a token couple $100.
So that we've used the formula based on area, so give us an example, Sierra County's got a fair amount of area, but their contribution is 2,000. So you're looking at a few $100.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
we can give you that number, or
We have discretionary money that we can use, so that makes it nice where we have projects like this that we can provide discretionary money for, so.
Good, so will you work with them and see what we can come up with that would be fair and?
So the way it works is I do a major contract with them up for 25,000. And then when the contributions come in, that offsets Plumas County's commitment for 25,000, helps cover that cost, just so you know. So it's a percentage of that. So it has helped Plumas County. We were covering all the 25,000 up until last fiscal year, I think, for homeless services. So even though I have a contract for 25,000, it isn't quite a $25,000 hit on our team because of the other counties'
Right,
participation.
but at least by having that in place, she can move forward while it's kind of like having teeter counties, where the county advances the funds to the special districts, hoping we collect the property tax to make ourselves whole. So, very similar situation. But I think moving forward, we definitely want to continue our contract, at least speaking for myself.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
I don't want to leave Lassen County too far. Is there potential for other, how much area is in our area that could have potential use? I want to explore, yeah, we're talking about a water tank, but I mean, is there other lands that could, we could help you with? If it's, you know, I think I just need to clarify that, because because if it is a significant area, which I don't have that definition, then perhaps Lassen County needs to be at the table.
Well,
Maybe
and
have a seat.
that could be, but if you're talking land mass,
It's very small.
it's not significant.
It is
to the
small.
size
The
of
only
county.
things I can think of is Mountain Meadows,
Right.
Westwood, Clear Creek.
Mhm.
Those I think are the largest land masses in that, at least on this side, for
And
that
Yeah.
district.
Mountain Meadows coming down Hamilton Branch into Lake Almanor and Clear Creek. You know, it is a definite part of our watershed and the health of Lake Almanor and going down.
I just threw that out. I'm not making.
But I don't
a
see them
judgment.
as like, we should have a Lassen County person sitting at the table, I think.
Probably will be anyway.
Right.
I'll be sitting here.
But we can look at working.
Your dual role.
How my dual role.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the hats.
Other hat. Okay, so I guess that's where we'll pursue that. And then,
So just a clarification, so is that gonna be, you're talking about for next fiscal year?
Yeah.
right,
And Uma can work out that number, because it's based on just square miles, I think. I mean, areas would be how we work it out.
Is, a question, is it beneficial to send out those letters, invoices, basically, letters requesting that contribution before the end of the fiscal year for their budget process, or is it something that we should wait to do?
I think we need to send it out right like now.
Okay.
Because, you know, everybody's in the budget process, some further than others, but it would be something that you want to plan on having in the budget. And then if you don't have it in your budget, if we send it late, then they always have an excuse to say, well, it's not in the budget. You know? So I'd say send this right away.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else under that item?
I think Lassen County wanted to make a considerable contribution to
Will they buy a seat?
Fire.
Yeah. Boy, howdy, Jim, that seat over there, see over that side of the table?
It looks like a $10 million
Yeah, we can move that seat really up close. And there'll be a cupcake.
Did we find deep pockets around here or something?
Yeah, I'll even
Just a
donate
thought.
one of my cupcakes
Damn
to
good
it.
thought.
Okay, so next meeting, as we said, just looking at content, I'd like to look at some of our successes, kind of a little presentation of successes. And you mentioned something about DWR's program that you might be able to bring in.
Yeah, I think I'd like to join the next meeting, give an overview of how the outreach is going.
Good, that would be great. And,
I think you should also do it on data sources. Your question.
why not?
Yeah, the data sources.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
But we'll vote on it.
Which ones we have to work
Yeah, use this, don't use that.
Big X.
Focus, not focus.
And you know, at some point, because they are such a huge player in our watershed, I wonder if we ought to be looking at PG&E representative kind of talk a little bit about their management of what do they call it, ladder of power?
So stair step.
Stair step of power going down Feather River and, you know, what plans they have. We're gonna, the lake level committee for Lake Eleanor is going down to meet with them in a few weeks. And when we do, I'll bring that up and see if they might be willing to come up and do a brief presentation of what they're gonna be doing as far as lake levels and so on and so forth. Anything else anybody would like to add on the agenda? Oh, and the special districts.
Would you want to
Dual
consider,
process.
you know, just a thought, consider PG&E as an advisory position, because we have the National Forest, we got Tahoe, we got some interesting, you think they're a significant player in our watershed and our water system? Could you consider that? That's a question.
We can sniff with them.
Yeah, I'll broach that when we're down there. Generally speaking, this meeting is their hydrologist from San Francisco come up to Chico, and a contingent of our group goes down to talk about the lake levels that they're going to maintain through the course of the year and so on. So as we do that, we'll bring it up, see if there's any interest on their part. I know a lot of the people they had permanently assigned here in the past, they've pulled back more down into Chico and Sacramento, so it's not quite as easy to get them to show up for stuff as it used to.
Okay.
But that'll be, don't let me forget, Rick, to ask them while we're down there. Okay, anything else?
I got one thing I'd like to ask, and that's how new projects get turned in now. And I'm really using this to share a concern that Sierra Valley has right now. Sierra Valley RCD is looking for a lot of answers. We've got probably 500 or 600 acres that are underwater that normally isn't, because the Feather River is plugged. It's just between Beckworth and the Sierra County line. But when you have so many private landowners and the land trust, and it's the headwaters of Feather River, you just don't go in and clean a ditch like we would on private property. We've got one ranch that's completely underwater, and he'll be underwater for months on Harry Lane, and it's all new. Some people, of course, are saying, well, it's a subsidence. The ground is sunk. Well, people are saying you're too far from the wells that are pumping high capacity. Actually, so what we think really has happened, some of this is that we're so flat between Sierra County and Beckworth, and there's so much growth in tules, and during those drought years, the water wasn't moving fast enough to keep things clean. So every year now, it starts getting a little sooner. It's backing up clear to Harriet Lane and into some of our property that never have water in it, but it stays there from October or November till maybe July.
What?
So a lot of bird watchers think it's great. But as soon as the water's gone, you're creating a totally new habitat that's good for about 3 months when you have water. And then this ground that's used to be meadows turns into this ugly because it's died from oxygen loss. So